Hey guys, Jen Bergman here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how to win clients and keep them as a new real estate agent. So whether you're a brand new real estate agent and you're looking for that first client, or you're struggling to keep clients or leads that you have, I'm going to give you 6 ways you can win those leads over and, most importantly, keep them. So please hit that like and subscribe button. That helps out so much. And I'm going to get right into it. So the number one thing you can do, and this is going to be the 6 reasons, will be in chronological order, not favorites, just what I think you should do from top to bottom. The first thing is you have to let your entire sphere of influence let you know that you are a real estate agent. It's not always fun, especially if you're not big on social media. It can be uncomfortable. It's a little bit awkward blasting a new career change, especially in industry like, the real estate industry. A lot of people are like, oh, haha, you and every other mother and brother that's getting their real estate license. Doesn't matter. You need to let your sphere of influence know what you're doing. Otherwise, unless you're paying a ton of money to get leads, you need to let those people know that you are a real estate agent. This does not mean you have to make a weekly plan and post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and spend all this time. I know lots of people utilize like TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I don't use Twitter. I stick to Instagram and I make YouTube videos, but Instagram is my main form of how I let people know what I was doing. You can check out my Instagram. It's nothing crazy. I do stories once or twice a week. And then I mostly just post about my client appreciation events and when my clients go under contract and when my sold posts, when I help them buy a home or when we close on selling a home. So that's really it. But at the beginning, I'd say the first 6 months at least, I was posting a lot more regular than you'll see me posting now. At the beginning, you need to make a post and let people know what you are doing. If you don't have an Instagram, you need to get on Instagram and go follow all of your friends, your old coworkers, your current coworkers if you're going part-time. And then you need to get on Facebook. Facebook is older than Instagram, so you probably have more people in your sphere that are on Facebook. Same thing. You don't have to do double the work. Just make a post on Instagram and share it to Facebook. I did get a business account going at the beginning that I have not kept up with, but you might as well just make one. It helps with Google searches. So make an Instagram. If you have a personal Instagram, I did not make a separate. That can be controversial. A lot of people recommended that I do a business Instagram and keep my personal one personal. If you guys were watch my videos, I think this is a mixed industry. You can't really separate business and pleasure. How I got started, how I had a great first year was working with friends or friends of friends or referrals of friends. So I think this is a business pleasure industry. That sounded funny. You know what I mean? It is hard to separate business from pleasure in this industry. So I chose to do all my posts from my personal Instagram. I'm a big runner. I have lots of people that are runners following me. I didn't see the point in starting an Instagram from scratch. So I would recommend you do that, but you can also just make a separate business account. That's totally fine. Lots of agents do that. Just make sure you post on your personal Instagram and Facebook, your personal Facebook page about the business Instagram and business Facebook page. If you're uncomfortable blasting that on social media, it is going to be tough letting your sphere of influence in on what you're doing. I don't know why you'd keep it a secret. Some people are uncomfortable telling everybody that they're a new real estate agent, and I get that. But again, if you keep it a secret, who's gonna know what you're doing? So let everyone know. It can kind of be weird at first. Who cares? Other thing that I did that's uncomfortable that I still recommend you do, even though I had no fun doing it, I did compile all of my contacts from my phone and did an email blast. Depending what brokerage you're at, there's multiple forms you can do that. It was very easy. Put all that you got I have an iPhone, downloaded all the contacts to an Excel sheet. From there, you could put it in whatever CRM your brokerage uses. You just send one email that goes to everyone. I will warn you, the hours following that email blast was a lot of unsubscribe, who is this, don't email me, take me off your marketing list. It's probably some people, your contacts on this iPhone cloud stuff, your contacts stay for decades. So it's probably some people I haven't talked to in a decade, some a few years. So it's random getting an email, but if their email was somehow in my contacts, they got an email from me. And again, the people that are like unsubscribe, don't email me, take me off any list you have, they're probably not going to be people that are going to work with you. It's important to know that after that email blast, even if only one person is like, oh, so and so is now a real estate agent, I'll keep them in mind. That could be your first client. I know the combination of posting on Facebook, Instagram, my personal Instagram, and that email blast. Someone from elementary school had reached out to me that was moving from my hometown to Colorado and wanted to work with me. So one of those three things worked out. I think Facebook, but it could have been any of the three. That is how you're going to get your very first client. I guarantee you, if you blast that out, no matter how much you don't want to, you will. It might not happen immediately, but within a few weeks or a few months, you are going to get someone that wants to work with you. Now, once that was step one, step number two, this is very simple, but it's so underrated. Be responsive to them. I have my very first few clients, I was so excited to have, and I treat every client the same, even now that I'm a one year plus in. Being responsive is so important. It amazes me that my first few clients were so happy with me as an agent because how quickly I responded. I'm like, are there agents that are taking 24 hours to get back to you on a simple question? With that said, that doesn't mean you should be on your phone 24/7. I tell every single client, reach out to me 24/7. I sleep with my phone on do not disturb. So if I don't get back to you, it's because I'm sleeping. When I drink some coffee in the morning, I'll get right back to you. But during, pretty much any time between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., sometimes later if we're submitting offers, but I will get back to my clients as soon as I can. Keep in mind, I go for long runs. I'm not texting people while I'm running, when I'm working out, if I'm at dinner, if I'm with family. So there are boundaries that I have set. However, I do let them know, don't hold back. Don't feel like you need to compile a list for me. Just shoot off questions, and you're never going to wake me up if you're a night owl. The buzzes will not get to me. My phone's on do not disturb, so text me anytime. And if the biggest thing too is as a brand new agent, you're not going to have the answers to everyone's questions. Let them know. I will get right back to you. Find the answer to their question and then get right back to them. I think it was my fourth or fifth client. They had been working with an agent with no buyer agreement, and their agent was taking days to get back to them. They were active buyers approved, trying to buy a house, and this agent was taking days to get back to them. So they were unhappy. One of my friends that knows I'm an agent told them, hey, I have a friend that's an agent. She seems to be closing some deals. You should try her out. A few weeks later, we were under contract. They were blown away. It was the quickest deal I've ever done. They flew out for one day. We went house shopping. We didn't get the house we submitted an offer on that weekend, but we did virtual tours the next couple of weeks and we were under contract. And they were so happy with me because I was responsive. So once you get that first client, be responsive. Remember, this client, if you do well with them and make them happy, they could refer you to maybe not your next client, but 6 months later. That leads into the third thing you need to do to keep these clients and hopefully get more referrals is be thoughtful. So if your clients are already going to be happy with you because you're super responsive and working hard for them, imagine how happy they're going to be when you listen and you remember, oh, this person's favorite wine is this. And when it comes to a closing gift time, you compile a little package of things that they briefly mentioned that they didn't think you were going to remember. They're going to be so stoked. Or for first showings, I always like to, if they're in the morning, the first time I'm meeting up with a new client for showings, I like to bring coffee. Or I'll text them and say, hey, I'm stopping at a coffee shop. Do you want coffee, tea? Just doing little teeny things like that. It's a few bucks. I have terrible handwriting. I hate it. Like no matter how slow I write, it comes out like a 12-year-old. But with every single congrats gift, I write a handwritten letter about the experience we had, house shopping, patience. The patience they had in this market is always in there. And saying congratulations. A handwritten card goes a long way because they can see, oh, this person didn't just, print off a generic congrats, you're a homeowner. They wrote something for us based off our experience. So be thoughtful, do small things. It doesn't have to be big, expensive gestures. It can just be the time that you spend with them and remembering the little things they mention here and there. You don't have to have a perfect memory. When I'm with clients, I'm jotting notes down on my notepad in the iPhone, the notes, You can't remember every single thing about every single client, especially once you start getting multiple clients. So the fourth thing you need to do after you have a client to keep them happy and keep them coming, you can't just be thoughtful and you can't just be responsive. You have to do your homework. These are big transactions with big money. For some people, this is the biggest transaction they're ever going to make in their life with their finances. So you have to do your homework. You need to know every single section of the contract. You're a brand new agent, you need to have a managing broker and or a mentor reading over every single contract before you submit, because one wrong checked box, one additional clause that you should have put in there but you didn't can make a really, really big difference. Doesn't mean you need to freak out writing your first offer. All you need is to have a mentor or managing broker reading over these contracts for you. They will make sure everything looks good to go. And also make sure you're asking them the questions that you need to about negotiating, about appraisals, appraisal gaps, down payments. You need to have constant communication with the lender to make sure all these things are taken care of. And it is going to be a little bit overwhelming on that very first transaction. So that's why I said, back to being responsive. If you don't have the answer to something, just say, I'll get right back to you. Check in with your mentor, managing broker, and make sure all those very, very important things for this transaction are looking good to go and smooth, and that you're doing the best you can for them as far as negotiating, writing that contract. You're the one that's really, I think real estate agents, more than finding a home for a client, because thanks to online shopping, most of the time they're finding the house they want to go look at. Real estate agents, we are the problem solvers. We are the hand holders. We are controlling their emotions when they're getting nervous, when they don't know what to offer, when you're in a bidding war. All of these things you have to handle yourself. You cannot be afraid to ask questions and feel like you're annoying your mentor or managing broker. Remember, you're doing this for your client. And any awesome managing broker or mentor is going to be happy to help you, because again, it's very exciting getting those first few clients. So you've got to make sure it goes smoothly. So number 4 is kind of mixed in with number 5. The number 5 thing you need to make sure you're doing to keep this client happy, these clients, is no surprises at closing. It's going to be a terrible, terrible closing day. You get to the closing table and you forgot to tell them about your broker's transaction fee. Maybe it's only a few $100, but if they didn't know about that ahead of time, they're not going to be that happy. If you're submitting offers and they don't understand the monthly payments, that's not going to be a good thing if you go under contract. Before we submit offers, I'm communicating with the lender and their insurance agent. If we submit an offer at this price, what is their monthly payments going to be? And how is the down payment going to look? And what kind of an appraisal gap can we do? Now, every single transaction is going to be different. That's why you have to have strong communication with the lender to make sure, based off their finances, that you are submitting this offer within their comfort zone, within their means. And the biggest thing is that they understand what they're submitting before you get under contract, and definitely before you get to the closing table. Number 5, you are in charge of having no surprises, and that will ensure a very happy closing day. Number 6, this is going above and beyond, but in a saturated market full of lots of real estate agents, not all of them are doing this because they're super busy or because they just don't have the time. Client appreciation events have been super fun. I can't say 100% certainty that I have gotten clients and referrals from these events specifically. My business focuses on keeping my clients happy, and those client appreciation events keep people happy. They're so fun. I've done 2 of them. I'm planning my next one. I think I'm going to do 3 a year. Maybe I'll just switch to 1 a quarter. That makes more sense, and they're a ton of fun. But not only do I get to enjoy, it's the only time I get to see, my clients together, because once you move into a house, people get busy, they get on with their lives. You go from talking to them every single day for weeks or months, and then they move in and they get on with their life. So you need to just stay in touch. And the client appreciation events are a really easy way to keep in touch. I don't have to be stressed about marketing campaigns and other dripping stuff that people do to stay in touch. I'd rather just say, hey, let's get together. It also is super fun to say, hey, this person moved into this neighborhood. They live down the street. You guys should be friends. And then my clients are friends with some other clients they would have never met otherwise. So client appreciation events are a really thoughtful and fun way. There's lots of ways you can do it that are affordable. I combine with my lender and my insurance agent. So there's 3 of us going in on it. At least that's what we did for the last one. and it was a blast. So I highly recommend doing something along those lines. It can be once a year, twice a year, just something where you're getting face to face with your clients that will be fun for everybody. So those are the 6 ways to get your first client or your first few, and more importantly, how to keep them and keep them happy. Now, remember, there is 1,000 different business plans out there for real estate agents. So what worked for me might not work for everyone, but I really strongly believe if you get your name out there, tell people what you're doing, and then you do those following strategies I gave you to keep them happy, not just after the closing table, not just at closing, but moving forward. I really do think you're going to start seeing some referrals. People are going to be really happy to work with you. They're going to tell their friends about you. So this business plan worked for me, and I hope that it can work for you. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions on those 6 strategies I gave you guys, please let me know in the comments. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Sorry, I talk fast. Slow down. Ugh.